There are moments in life when the voice inside your head feels more like an enemy than a friend. It whispers doubts, criticizes your every step, and tells you that you're not enough. For many, this inner voice becomes so constant that it feels like the truth. But Louise Hay, one of the pioneers of modern self-healing, taught us something revolutionary, that the words you speak to yourself can either imprison you or set you free. She believed that by changing your thoughts and affirmations, you could transform not only your mind, but your entire life. Louise Hay's journey into healing wasn't born from theory. It came from her own struggles. She grew up with pain, abuse, and hardship, experiences that left deep emotional scars. Later in life, she faced a cancer diagnosis. But instead of surrendering, she turned inward, asking a powerful question. What if the way I think and speak to myself is shaping my body, my emotions, and my reality? This question became the foundation of her work. Through affirmations, simple, intentional statements of love, healing, and possibility, she began to change her relationship with herself. And as she did, her life began to heal in ways that many thought impossible. The essence of affirmations is deceptively simple. What you repeatedly say to yourself becomes what you believe, and what you believe shapes your actions, your emotions, and even your health. Most of us live with affirmations already, but negative ones. Every time you tell yourself, I can't do this, I'll never be enough, or I'm always anxious, you're affirming a reality into existence. Louise Hay's teaching flips this pattern. Instead of affirming fear and doubt, you consciously affirm love, strength, and peace. Over time, these new affirmations carve fresh pathways in your mind, replacing old wounds with healing words. Imagine starting your day with the phrase, I am worthy of love and respect. At first, it might feel strange, even false, especially if your shadow, the part of you we explored with Jung, has been carrying old wounds of rejection or shame. But with repetition, something shifts. The words begin to soften your resistance. The inner critic loses its grip. You start to feel that maybe, just maybe, these words could be true. And then one day, you notice yourself standing a little taller, speaking a little kinder, treating yourself with more compassion. The affirmation has begun to plant its roots, and your life responds to it. What makes Louise Hay's work so profound is that she showed us healing doesn't always require complex systems or years of analysis. Sometimes it begins with the simplest of tools, your own words. Words carry energy. They can wound, but they can also heal. When you say, I deeply and completely love and accept myself, you are not just reciting pretty words, you are sending a signal to your subconscious mind, teaching it a new story. And the subconscious, as we saw in Joseph Murphy's teachings, is the silent architect of your reality. By feeding it affirmations of love and possibility, you reshape the blueprint of your life. This is not about denying pain or pretending that problems don't exist. Louise Hay never suggested ignoring reality. Instead, she invited us to choose which voice we give power to. Do we let the voice of fear and anxiety dominate, or do we consciously nurture the voice of love and healing? The practice of affirmations is not about escaping life, it's about facing it with a new strength, grounded in the truth that you are worthy, capable, and whole. As we move forward in this journey, you'll see how affirmations can become daily medicine for the mind and heart. They are not magic spells, but consistent practices that slowly rewire the way you see yourself and the world. And just like a seed needs time to grow into a tree, affirmations need patience, repetition, and care. But once they take root, they have the power to transform everything. In the next part, we will explore why affirmations are more than just positive thinking. We'll look at how science, psychology, and lived experience all confirm their power to calm anxiety, reprogram your mind, and create lasting change. At first glance, affirmations might sound like nothing more than wishful thinking, just repeating nice words to yourself and hoping something changes, but there is far more happening beneath the surface. Modern psychology and neuroscience confirm what Louise Hay intuitively understood decades ago, that the thoughts we repeat create measurable changes in the brain, in our emotions, and even in our bodies. Affirmations are not empty words. They are tools that reshape your inner landscape. The brain is designed to adapt. This ability is called neuroplasticity. Every time you think a thought, you strengthen a neural pathway. The more often you repeat that thought, the stronger the pathway becomes, until it feels automatic. This is why negative beliefs like "I'm not good enough" or "I'll always fail" feel so powerful. They've been rehearsed over and over, wired into your brain through years of repetition. Affirmations use the same mechanism, but in your favor. By consciously choosing new thoughts, you begin to carve new pathways in the brain. At first, they feel weak and unfamiliar, but with practice, they grow stronger, and eventually they replace the old patterns. Psychology also shows us that the words we use shape the way we feel. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm anxious," your body responds with tension, shallow breathing, and restlessness. But when you say, "I am calm and at peace," you send a different message. Your nervous system begins to relax. Your breathing deepens. Your body and mind start to align with the new story. This is why affirmations are especially powerful for reducing anxiety. They interrupt the cycle of fear and introduce a new rhythm of calm. Research in cognitive behavioral therapy reveals that much of our suffering comes not from events themselves, but from the interpretations we attach to them. Affirmations work at this very level of interpretation. They teach the mind to see possibility where before it only saw limitation. For example, instead of saying, "I can't handle this," an affirmation invites you to say, "I am stronger than I realize." The situation may not change immediately, but your relationship to it does. And that shift in perspective often changes the outcome. It's also important to understand the role of emotion in affirmations. Simply repeating words without feeling can leave them flat and ineffective. Louise Hay emphasized combining affirmations with elevated emotions, feelings of love, gratitude, or joy. When you repeat, "I love and approve of myself," while actually summoning a feeling of warmth in your heart, the affirmation sinks deeper. The brain doesn't just register the words, it records the emotional experience. And emotion is the glue that makes new neural patterns stick. Affirmations also counteract the harsh inner critic that so many people live with. That voice of criticism often comes from childhood, from words spoken by parents, teachers, or society. Over time, those external judgments became internalized until you started to repeat them to yourself, as if they were your own. Affirmations challenge that voice. They offer a new script. Instead of "I'm not enough," you choose "I am worthy." Instead of "I always fail," you choose "I am capable of succeeding." Each affirmation is a conscious act of reclaiming your inner narrative, replacing the critic with a compassionate guide. Another reason affirmations work is because of attention. What you focus on expands. If you constantly focus on problems, your mind becomes an expert at finding more problems. But if you train your attention on healing, love, and possibility, your mind begins to notice opportunities and solutions that were invisible before. Affirmations sharpen your focus. By repeating, "I attract peace and abundance," you start to notice small moments of peace in your day or opportunities for growth that align with abundance. The external world may not have changed, but your awareness of it has, and that makes all the difference. Skeptics often dismiss affirmations because they expect instant results. But affirmations are more like planting seeds. You don't see the tree immediately after planting. You water it, nurture it, and trust that growth is happening beneath the surface. In the same way, affirmations require consistency and patience. The transformation may be gradual, but it is real. Over time, the words you choose become the foundation of a new identity. When combined with practices like journaling or meditation, affirmations become even more powerful. Writing them down engages both the mind and the body, reinforcing the message. Speaking them aloud gives them vibration and energy. Meditating on them allows them to sink deeply into the subconscious, free from distraction. Each practice strengthens the seed, giving it the conditions it needs to grow. In the next part, we will move from understanding why affirmations work to actually practicing them. You'll explore specific affirmations for self-love and anxiety relief. Statements you can begin using today to create immediate shifts in the way you think and feel. Imagine standing in front of a mirror and looking directly into your own eyes. For many people, this simple act feels deeply uncomfortable. They notice every flaw, every imperfection, and they hear that inner critic begin to whisper again, "You're not good enough. You always fail. You'll never change." This is why Louise Hay made mirror work one of her central practices. She invited people to stand before their own reflection and replace the voice of criticism with the voice of compassion through affirmations. At first, it feels strange, even awkward, but with time, something shifts. The mirror becomes a portal, a place where you begin to rebuild your relationship with yourself, word by word, affirmation by affirmation. So, how do affirmations actually look in practice? Let's begin with self-love, one of Louise Hay's most important teachings. A core affirmation she shared with millions around the world is, "I love and approve of myself exactly as I am." Simple, yes, but radical. Many people live their entire lives waiting to be good enough before giving themselves permission to feel love. They believe that only after losing weight, achieving success, or earning approval will they deserve kindness. But this affirmation turns that belief upside down. By repeating, "I love and approve of myself exactly as I am," you declare that love is not conditional, it is your birthright. At first, the words may feel false. You might even hear resistance in your mind. "No, I don't love myself. This isn't true." That resistance is the shadow we explored earlier with Jung, the old stories of rejection and shame rising to the surface. But here is the secret. You don't have to fully believe the affirmation right away. You only need to be willing to plant the seed. Each time you repeat it, you are gently training your mind to consider a new possibility, and slowly the soil begins to soften and the seed begins to grow. Another powerful affirmation for self-love is, "I am worthy of all the love and joy life has to offer." Worthiness is at the root of so much suffering. People stay in unhealthy relationships, accept less than they deserve, or sabotage their own success because deep down they believe they are not worthy. This affirmation confronts that belief directly. By repeating it daily, especially in the mirror, or while placing a hand over your heart, you begin to rewrite the inner script. Worthiness is no longer a question to be proven. It becomes a truth you claim. Now let's turn to anxiety relief, an area where affirmations can be profoundly healing. Anxiety often feels like a storm in the mind, racing thoughts, rapid heartbeat, a body bracing for danger even when no threat is present. Affirmations act like anchors, grounding you in a calmer reality. One of Louise Hay's classics is, "I am safe, all is well." Notice how simple it is. 4 words, "I am safe." Yet when spoken with intention, these words can slow the heart, steady the breath, and remind the nervous system that the danger is not real. Anxiety thrives on uncertainty and fear. Affirmations provide certainty and reassurance. Another helpful affirmation is, "I trust the process of life." Anxiety often comes from the need to control everything, the fear that if you let go, things will fall apart. This affirmation is an invitation to surrender, to release the grip of constant worry, and lean into trust. When repeated consistently, it creates space in the mind, reminding you that life unfolds in ways you may not always understand, but that you have the strength to meet whatever comes. For those who carry tension in their bodies, affirmations can also be combined with breath. For example, as you inhale, repeat silently, "I am calm." As you exhale, repeat, "I release tension." Pairing affirmations with breath makes them not only mental but physical practices. You are teaching both mind and body a new rhythm. Over time, your body learns that safety and calm are possible even in moments of stress. To make affirmations truly effective, consistency is key. Louise Hay encouraged people to integrate them into their daily routines while brushing your teeth, driving to work, or before going to sleep. The goal is to replace the background noise of negative self-talk with a new soundtrack of love and trust. Imagine how many times a day your inner critic speaks. What if instead those moments were filled with reminders like, "I am enough, I am at peace, I am worthy"? The repetition is not meaningless. It is the mechanism that reprograms the subconscious. Practical application can also be creative. Some people write affirmations on sticky notes and place them on mirrors, refrigerators, or computer screens. Others record themselves speaking affirmations and listen to the audio as a morning ritual. Some create art, vision boards, or journals dedicated to affirmations. The method matters less than the intention. What matters is that the words are repeated with consistency and infused with genuine emotion. It's also important to choose affirmations that feel personally meaningful. Generic affirmations may not resonate as deeply. For example, if your struggle is with anxiety, phrases like "I am calm and centered" may be more powerful than general affirmations about success. If your pain is around self-worth, "I am lovable and deserving" may strike closer to the heart. Affirmations are not one size fits all. They are tools you personalize, shaping them to meet your unique journey. There may be days when the affirmations feel like lies. This is normal. Healing is not linear. On those days, Louise Hay advised people to add gentler phrases like, "I am willing to love myself." Notice the difference. If "I love myself" feels too heavy, "I am willing to love myself" creates an opening. It doesn't demand instant belief. It invites possibility, that willingness, however small, is enough to keep the seed alive. Over time, willingness becomes belief, and belief becomes truth. The practice of affirmations is also a practice of patience. Just as a tree does not grow overnight, affirmations require nurturing. Louise Hay often said, "Be gentle with yourself." This gentleness is not weakness, it is the soil in which transformation grows. Each time you repeat an affirmation, even if you don't feel it fully, you are building a bridge to a new way of being. That bridge may take time, but it is carrying you toward freedom. In the next part, we will explore what happens when affirmations become a way of life. We'll see how daily practice leads not only to moments of calm and self-love, but to long-term transformation. How affirmations can reshape your identity, open the door to healing, and prepare you for even deeper practices like Ho'oponopono, where words and forgiveness merge into profound liberation. When you begin practicing affirmations, the first changes you notice may be subtle. A calmer breath here, a kinder thought there, a moment of stillness in the middle of chaos. But as you continue, something deeper begins to happen. The words you once repeated like fragile whispers grow stronger until they become the inner voice that guides you. This is the true gift of affirmations. They don't just change isolated moments. They slowly transform your entire inner dialogue. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that the first thought in your mind is no longer, "I'm tired," or "I can't handle this," but instead, I am grateful for this new day. This is not fantasy. It is the natural result of repetition. The subconscious mind is always listening. For years, it may have absorbed the language of fear and doubt, but when you consistently feed it words of love and trust, it begins to echo them back. The critic weakens, the compassionate voice strengthens, and your inner landscape shifts. Transformation through affirmations is not about perfection. You will still have days of doubt, fear, or anxiety. But instead of being consumed by them, you will notice that you recover more quickly. The negative thoughts no longer dominate. They pass like clouds across the sky. Affirmations give you the ability to step back, to observe the storm without being swept away by it. This resilience is one of the most profound results of the practice. Over time, affirmations also change how you show up in the world. When you tell yourself, "I am worthy," you begin to set healthier boundaries in relationships. When you affirm, "I am calm and at peace," you respond to stress with clarity instead of panic. When you declare, "I love and approve of myself," you stop seeking constant validation from others. These internal shifts ripple outward, transforming the quality of your relationships, your work, and your daily life. The words become the seeds of a new identity, one rooted in love rather than fear. But affirmations are not just about what they remove, they are about what they create. They open space for new possibilities. A person who once said, "I can't do this," begins to say, "I am capable," and suddenly dares to take steps toward a dream. Someone who once thought, "I will always be anxious," begins to affirm, "I am safe," and discovers a sense of calm they never thought possible. Bit by bit, affirmations break the walls built by years of self-doubt and allow new horizons to appear. This is why Louise Hay often said, "Every thought we think is creating our future." The affirmations you choose are not only about today, they are blueprints for tomorrow. Each word is a brick, and over time, they build the foundation of the life you will live. The question becomes, what kind of house are you building with your words? One filled with criticism and fear, or one filled with compassion, peace, and strength? It is important to understand that affirmations work best when combined with self-awareness and honesty. They are not meant to cover wounds with pretty phrases, but to gently guide the healing process. This is where the connection to shadow work becomes clear. After facing the darker parts of yourself with Jung's insights, affirmations offer the light that balances the darkness. They don't erase the shadow, they integrate it, reminding you that you are whole and capable of growth. Daily practice is the key. Choose a few affirmations that resonate with you. Perhaps, "I am enough," "I am safe," or "I deeply love and accept myself," and repeat them morning and night. Say them aloud, write them down, or meditate on them in silence. The form is flexible, but the consistency is not. Just as a musician practices scales every day, you practice affirmations daily, training your mind to play a new song. And just as important as the words themselves is the feeling behind them. If you say, "I am at peace," while your body is tense, pause, take a deep breath, and let your body feel what peace might be like, even for a moment. This combination of thought and feeling is what rewires the subconscious. It is what transforms words into reality. The journey with affirmations is deeply personal. For some, change happens quickly, like a sudden sunrise that floods the sky with light. For others, it is slower, like the gradual growth of a tree. Both are valid. The key is patience and trust. As Louise Hay often reminded her students, "You have been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens." And what happens is nothing short of transformation. Anxiety loosens its grip. Self-love begins to blossom. The inner critic grows quieter. And you start to experience life not as a constant battle, but as an unfolding journey where you are both strong and gentle with yourself. This is not to say affirmations solve everything. Life will still bring challenges, losses, and pain. But affirmations change the way you meet those challenges. They give you resilience, hope, and a foundation of self-compassion that no circumstance can take away. You are no longer a prisoner of your thoughts. You become their master. And so, as we close this exploration of affirmations, let us look ahead to the next step in our journey. Ho'oponopono. This ancient Hawaiian practice of forgiveness and reconciliation takes the power of words even further. Where affirmations teach us to love and accept ourselves, Ho'oponopono teaches us to release resentment, heal relationships, and restore harmony with others and the world around us. Together, affirmations and forgiveness form a complete circle of healing, one that begins within and extends outward. In our next video, we will dive into the simple yet profound practice of Ho'oponopono, exploring how 4 phrases, "I'm sorry," "Please forgive me," "Thank you," "I love you," can heal the deepest wounds and open the heart to peace. Just as affirmations transform the inner voice, Ho'oponopono transforms the voice we use with others, creating harmony in places where there was once division. The journey continues, and with each step you're reminded that healing begins with words of love, of forgiveness, of truth. The words you choose today are shaping the person you are becoming tomorrow. Choose them with care and watch your life transform.